Welcome. Tonight's program will dive deep into fringe knowledge of lost, hidden, and suppressed truths about the nature of our reality. The decoding process can be uncomfortable and at times frightening. However, you are not alone on this journey of understanding. Welcome to the Shadow Band Podcast.
What up?
Sup?
Oh, hold on. I'm having camera difficulties.
Whoa,
Whoa. Hold on. Let me fix it. I don't like that. There we go.
Whoa.
There it is. What it do? What it do?
Not much, man.
Not much.
Oh, didn't cover it. That's what it is. No, Jade just ruined dinner.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Crystal ruined dinner too.
Heck yeah,
Just
dude.
kidding. Just kidding.
What
She
are they
didn't
good
ruin
for
dinner
anymore, bro?
She.
What are they good for?
Damn, I'm sitting right
Still
here.
let them drive, bro. We let them vote. I can't believe this stuff, bro. They can't even make a
Let
freaking meat.
them vote. Yeah, what
Yeah,
the
dude.
fuck?
Rude.
Holy shit. No, she didn't
That's how
ruin
we ended
dinner.
up with freaking Obama and Biden, dude.
She followed some random recipe and it just wasn't good. Not her fault. It's the internet's fault.
Yeah, sure. Right, your woman came up with the recipe.
Actually, they did.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's be real.
You don't have to tell me. I already know.
I'm a good cook.
You let the boys start voting, bro. We get Trump dog back in office, dude. We get freaking rhinos, dude. We get war with Iran. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go, bro.
I'm talking about, bro. The Middle East was getting a little too peaceful. Get the boys
It's all right,
back
man.
in.
It'll be a parking lot soon enough. Just give it time.
Get the boys back in, bro.
So, welcome back to the show.
Just completely any ladies that were in the freaking start in this episode are gone already, dude. 3 minutes in.
Yep, that's how it is, man. You got to come in hot. If you don't,
See you,
you're
ladies.
gone. It's all right. I don't want those schlubs anyways. I want my hardcore fans that'll listen to us rant about nothing for an hour.
Yeah,
Those are the
bro.
guys
Day
I want.
one's in here only. Okay, now that the ladies are gone, now it's just the boys.
Yep,
Let's
that's right.
talk. Let's talk Draco reptilians, dude.
For sure. Yeah, let's talk about that. Tell me what you said you saw.
I mean, I saw this video of a guy. He's talking about that he's like a remote viewer and he uses that in his investigating things. And he remote viewed 3-Eye Atlas, and there's an army of reptilians on there. Now, it seems like pretty obvious hullabaloo, if you want to call it. All right. But it's like we're going to get to a point. We're at this with AI now, and we're going to get at this with now that remote viewing is becoming like a thing that is talked about in the open. There's no way to verify anything anymore. All of our information is coming from the most unreliable sources possible, which is that's what conspiracy theories were kind of like. That's where they're found. But now we've got it's been infiltrated by obvious grifters and AI. And it's like two things you can't be in the conspiracy theory world is AI fakery and just, now that, anybody can just claim to remote view, and then people are gonna be like, I saw freaking reptilians on there, 3-Eye Atlas. It's like, how's anybody supposed to verify that?
Well, you can't, first of all, but what I do find interesting about that is just the remote viewing thing in general, not necessarily the 3-Eye Atlas. There's two parts to this. First of all, even if there was something with this 3-Eye Atlas, even if it was an alien mothership or there was reptilians on it or whatever, okay, do you think that anybody would even pay attention?
No.
Have you seen that movie Don't Look Up?
No.
It's a couple years old now. It had Leonardo DiCaprio.
Don't Look Up.
Yeah, Don't Look Up. Had the chick from the Hunger Games. I personally liked the movie. Crystal said she didn't like it, but the plot of the movie was basically they discovered that an asteroid was about to hit the Earth, and they had whatever it was, like a 6 months or however long the time frame was, and like it was a 99.99% chance like it was gonna hit the Earth, right? And it was like big enough of an asteroid to be like an extinction level event, okay?
Whoa.
And they go to the White House, they go on all the news channels, right? And like just nobody's taking it seriously. Like just nobody's giving a shit. Everybody's just like carrying on. Even like it gets up to the now you had like the extremists and the conspiracy people that were like, you know, out there protesting, not protesting, but you know, they were out there like enraged and like freaking out, you know, but
Yeah.
like just the regular people, they just kind of were like, whatever, you know, and
What are you going to do?
you know, what are you gonna do? Right? Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, asteroid hits the Earth and everybody dies.
Nice. I like
So-
I like a good ending like that.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of feel like that's how that's where we're at with a lot of this stuff now is like the
100%.
government. First of all, there's like a big problem with trust in the government, right? The government could come out and be like, there's aliens, they're here, we've got the craft, like, you know, look, right? They could literally like bring an alien out on stage next to Trump and be like, here's an alien, right? And most people would be like, that's fake,
Rick looks gay.
that's AI, you know, oh, here comes Project Bluebeam. I'm guilty of that, right? Nobody cares.
We're not doing anything, bro. We're like the most apathetic country in the world.
Yeah. Like, do I still got to go to work tomorrow? That's what everybody says.
Yeah,
still gotta go to
bro.
work
I'll be like, are you,
Yep.
what's with the taxes? Are we still
Yeah.
getting those? You know, where's my refund?
Yeah. So, you know, that's the thing about,
Release the list. Like, no one would even care.
yeah, nobody gives a shit. But, you know, maybe there is something to the 3-eye atlas thing. I don't know. I've heard a lot of theories lately. Honest, which is also weird because it's been like just in the last like week, maybe 10 days, the theories and the this and that's are like just flying with this 3-eye atlas thing, right? So I don't know. I don't know.
Everybody just wants to be famous right now, dude. Everybody wants their hot take on stuff. It's like every single time something happens, everybody has something to say about it. It's like, and the last thing is gone. Whatever the
Oh,
last
yeah.
thing is, everybody just abandons that.
Yep.
So it's like 3-eye atlas is going to come out. Well, the structures under the pyramids, pff, dude, that was like Joe Rogan episode 1900. That's not relevant anymore. Okay, we're on 1973. All right, or whatever. Like that was 73 episodes ago. Okay, old news. We're talking about some new stuff. It's like it's so fast.
You know, it's funny you say that too, because here's how I know how true that is. Like, this is kind of scary, right? Like, we do this show. I like to consider myself like somewhat of a free thinker, conspiracy minded, you know, open minded individual. Like, I'm aware of all this stuff. I'm aware how social media is affecting us and our attention spans, right? Most people aren't even aware, right? Like, most people just don't even consider half the shit we talk about here. But here's how crazy this is. Like when I told you earlier, I watch a lot of YouTube videos because I usually just have it on my phone while I'm like working and all that stuff, and you know, stuff just kind of goes through. Today, I was looking like, what am I gonna listen to on my drive? At an hour-long drive to my first job. It's like, what do I put on to listen to? And I'm like scrolling through, and like I saw, you know, PBD Patrick Bet David's
Yeah.
podcast, right? And like it was uploaded yesterday, and the first thought that came to my mind is, damn, there's nothing from today. Like I didn't want to watch yesterday's episode because I was like, no matter what they talk about, it was yesterday, bro. Like I want to know what's going on. Where's the live? I want the live right now, not
Yeah, it's-
yesterday.
You have to put out, and this is where it's like daily content is like you have to put out something every single day. You have to have content out every single day or nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like clips from what you shared. Like, this is last week's episode. Nobody cares about that, bro. I want live clips of your stuff right now. I want to see what you're talking about tomorrow. And then I don't even want to see the episode tomorrow because I already saw the clips. I already saw the teaser. You play a trailer, no one watches your movie. Like,
You
I
know
saw
what I
it. It was a
think?
trailer.
What I think that is I think that there's like a subconscious thing that's going on with the masses right now where like we're all expecting something to happen, right? Like we're all waiting for like this black swan event. Even if you don't think about this stuff, like just something subconsciously in all of us is like waiting for like 9/11 to happen, right? Or like waiting for them to announce COVID or like waiting for Charlie Kirk to like everybody's just waiting for like the next thing to happen, right? So you want to see, you want to be watching the live thing that's going on so that you can catch it like right away.
Everybody wants the reveal.
That too.
Like, they just want the reveal. Like, nothing has been revealed. So it's like the JFK files come out and everybody's like, oh, finally, we're going to get to know the truth. Nope. Epstein list. Finally, we're going to get to, nope. Finally, something happens to kind of like set the new tension, right? Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, but it's the wackest looking assassination ever. And his wife is being an absolute nutcase. And then, so it's like, it didn't relieve any of the pressure. Now it's even more conspiracies, even more stuff. It's like, there's no release of like, the Tylenol thing comes out and it's like, bro, that's not it, dude. That's not what we're asking. Red 40 or ban it. Like, no. Like, I just saw a thing that DeSantis finally, like, I think it officially signed whatever through our state legislature, whatever, banning, like it's official now, banned weather modification. And it's like, okay, sweet, but what was modified? Who's modifying? Like, that's what everybody wants to know. Like, these hurricanes, we made those hurricanes, or we can steer hurricanes, or this is the company that's been seeding everything, and this is why the weather's bad, and here's what we can expect. That's what people are like, those are chemtrails. That is making it rain. Like, oh, okay, finally, we need some relief to something. But it's like they just give you just enough, just a little bit. It's not enough.
Yeah,
Need
pretty
that
much.
kick, dude.
We're all waiting for it, man. I mean, I'm waiting. I'm guilty of this too, man. Like I'm waiting for it. Like I wake up in the morning, right? And I'm taking my morning poo, and I'm like scrolling through the things, right? And I'm on X, and I'm like, what happened? What happened while I was asleep, right? And most of the time, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But
It's
I'm
just
waiting.
cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm waiting to like open it up one day and be like, oh my god, the dollar collapse, or whatever it is, right? I'm just like, everybody's just, yeah.
Yes. Just reset. Everybody's just, I'm at the point where I'm just like, just do it. Just do it already. Where's the Antichrist at? Just do it. Just freaking give everybody the mark and I'll just go die in the woods. Like, just do it already. The Bible talks about it as calling like birth pangs. Like the earth has these like birth pangs where it's like, it's just, everything's ready to pop. It's just like, get this thing over with already. And it's like the whole population is just like, just ready. It's all, everybody's anxious.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling like that.
No, me either. But what are you gonna do, right? But part of this is just because of social media. Like we're all so used to just flipping through reels, flipping through shorts, TikToks. Like, you're just getting so much, like bam, 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 constantly. That I think that we're like rewiring ourselves on some level. That's just like, you just need the fix now. You need the fix now. But this is something too, man. Right? Like I struggle with not committing to things long term. Right? Like, I'll decide I want to start working out or something, right? And then I just can't commit to it, or like whatever the thing is. You know what I mean? And I think that they're doing that on purpose. I think that they know that with the algorithms and the way that our attention spans are getting nuked, that nobody really is going to like commit to anything, right? Like at all.
Oh, ever.
Everybody just wants the quick fix. Nobody's gonna be able to save or, build something, or it's just like now, right? And I struggle with this too. Like I told you before the podcast, like I threw my vapes in the trash an hour ago because like I think about this every day where I'm like, bro, you could just quit. You could just quit. You could just quit. It's been like years of just like, you could just quit. Right. And it's like the only way for me to actually quit is to throw it in the trash can.
Yeah.
Right. And luckily, I'm at this point now. I'm not going to go on a long Bitcoin rant, I promise. But I'll just say that because of Bitcoin, I've adjusted over time. Since the beginning of this year, I've slowly developed this mentality of money that is different than it's always been.
Yeah.
I've always had this mentality of money like, hey, the money's going to zero, spend it as fast as you can because tomorrow it's worth less than today. So take the money you make now, go and spend it, get the thing you want because tomorrow that thing's going to cost more of the money, right? That's how I've always operated. But now all my extra money is going into Bitcoin, which tomorrow is going to be higher than today. And I don't mean literally tomorrow, just like in the future, it will be more, right? So because I've shifted my mentality on this, the thought of going to buy another $50 vape to replace the ones I threw in the trash, in my mind, it's not $50. It's $500. It's $5,000. It's $50,000, depending on the time scale of that money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, dude.
So now I'm at
Makes
this
sense.
point where I could throw it in the trash and I know I'm not going to go buy another one because I'm thinking this way with money. And I go out to eat and it's
Until
like, oh,
you can
10
pay
bucks.
for them with Bitcoins.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
$50 right now. I'm only going to buy me one vape, but I've turned this into Bitcoins. I buy 10 vapes.
yeah, easily. But you know, it's just one of those things. Like I've shifted the money, the idea of money in my mind because now I'm basing everything off of hard money instead of shitty money, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I do put a lot of the blame, if you will. I mean, it's myself, but it's the algorithms too, man. It's the quick, it's the now, it's the dopamine, it's the next reel.
Yeah.
You know, it's all of that. It's nuking us.
Yeah. I was watching, I took a trip for work last week or over last weekend to Tennessee. And when I was up there, it was just beautiful land, mountains, huge 200-acre farms. You know, we were like walking around doing a little sightseeing on the off day. And I was like, no cell phone signal. And I was like, bro, this is it. This is it. This is where I need to be. I've got to get out of the friggin' beehive, the rat's nest of Central Florida. It's just, and I got to get off the phone. It's literally, I was like my soul felt at peace. The weather was nice. It was just, everything was just fantastic. I loved it. And then driving back, like the further south I'm getting, I'm just the anxiety setting back in. The traffic's getting worse. I'm just hating every second. The temperature's just all the way up. It's like, bro, the couple days after, like Monday, Tuesday, I'm just like feeling uneasy. Also, I watched I listened to a couple podcasts about like the end times, or just, you know, people's takes on the end times, and I just was feeling very uneasy about the whole future, and just like, man, dude, this is not where I want to be when things break bad.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that thought, but I think that a lot of that is just because of the habits and the routines that you're in, right? I don't think it's the location. One of my buddies is always talking about he wants to move out of Florida. He hates Florida, you know, and I always try to tell him, like, bro, Florida's the best country in the world, right? Like, where are you going to go? Okay. Sure. Like the weather, you can find better weather or whatever the case might be, but, you know, there's a lot of positives for Florida. It's really just your habits and your routines. Like if you
Yeah.
could change those, you might be happy where you're at, you know?
Yeah. So yesterday I did just that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to, for like the last several hours of the day, I just put the phone down. I got the old Bible out, the actual physical paper, instead of reading it on my phone or whatever. I got the actual physical book out. I read the entire book of Revelation all the way through and like sorted the whole thing out in my mind, did a video on it, just no scrolling, none of that. Went to bed, no scrolling. And it's just, I woke up this morning. I was like, that did. I just needed a nice, like, several hours of being awake and thinking, but not with a screen. And it was a nice little reset. Also found some land, and that's like, okay, all right, here. Like maybe really that's the itch. I want to be able to grow some food. I want to be able to hide a little bit. I want to be able to, like something.
You trying to get out there and play with the chickens and just
Play with the chickens, shoot my bow, like just not be with people 14 feet away from me right now.
Yep. No,
They closed the front door of their house. I think the front door of my house just closed. It's like, it's too close. It's just too close.
I feel that. Crystal and I have been looking, we've been looking a lot at RVs, man. Like, and we're really thinking about getting RVs this weekend. I'm going to go look at more RVs. Like, I'm lucky enough to have somewhere where I could take it and park it and not have to pay like crazy lot fees or anything like that. But, just the price with rent and all the other shit. And it's like, man, I'm a minimalist at heart anyways. Like I could live in a nice fifth wheel RV for a few years and not even be worried
just
about
drop it somewhere, save up for a truck that can pull it. Done.
Exactly. Right. And then just spend my days driving to the next spot, spend a month in the Grand Canyon, spend a month in White Sands, go, you know what I mean? It's just like whatever you want to do. That's kind of where I'm at right now too.
Dude, we were thinking about doing the same thing before we moved in here. We're like, maybe we just get an RV and like just go traveling for a bit. Like,
dude, they got some really nice ones, man.
They did have some really nice ones, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta buy a truck, and we're gonna be in like too much money. And Jade was pregnant, so I'm like, it's just not the time. But definitely would like to do it. The other, we were taking care of Jade's dad. If you know Jade's dad, he's a dirtbag. Bro, I found him like a good truck, a cheaper truck, but a good truck, good Ram, and bought it for him when her grandfather, when his dad died. Got the money sorted out, and we got him a truck and got him an RV and paid for a month for him to stay at an RV park. And dude, the second he got out of the RV park, he sold that thing.
Jesus. What a dickhead, dude.
Dude, the second he got, I'm like, dude, you have a free home. I got you a free home. We got him a mattress for it. It was decked out. It was nice. It was pretty nice for him. For him, it's the Bellagio. I bought him the friggin' Bellagio, dude. And the truck it had camo on the bottom, like woodland camo on the bottom, white truck, big tires on it. I mean, it was nice stuff. I'm like, he could never pop these tires, ever. These are like the heavy duty, big old tractor tires on this thing. He blew all 4 tires in 1 month and was like, I need money for new tires. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you, bro? I would have made this last for 15 years. And I'm like, dude, I was like, this is what I wanted. I wanted a truck and an RV, but I got it for you instead, and you ruined it.
That's how it is, man.
Truck is completely fried. It's like sitting in somebody's driveway somewhere, and the RV's gone. Just gone. He had it for 40 days.
And he's probably broke again, too, which is the saddest part.
100%, dude.
Right.
Like, God dang it, man. That's what I wanted to do. We were gonna do like a coffee business, like get some local grounds or whatever, and then just like set up shop and do like a pop-up coffee, and like, because Jade's pretty nasty with the baristing. So we're like, oh, this would be great. We could sell the beans, whatever, work with another company, do this thing, and just kind of like be traveling, doing coffee and like vlogs and whatever and stuff and whatever, and then come back and do whatever after that. But maybe you guys will do it instead or something. Somebody's got to get on the road, man. Do some things.
I'm trying to get to that point, man. I'm antsy, right? I'm the kind of guy, like, I'll rearrange my furniture all the time, and I'm just like, I need change to like keep myself. I got ADHD and shit, or ADD. I don't know, one of those, right? I got one of the things, so it's like I'm always trying to like do something and move around. Ask Crystal, I'm constantly doing some shit, right? Like, and a lot of it's like mundane, like pointless shit, like I'm wasting my time, but it's like doing multiple podcasts, right? I'm involved in like a mill sim, right? Yeah, it's a video game, but like it's a structured thing that I do with these guys, and it's like trying to start a business at the same time, working a full-time job. I'm doing like 6, 7, writing music. It's like just constantly. So you
gotta be a congressman, dude. You just gotta stay put, no term limits, sit down.
Hell no.
Yeah, that's what you need, bro. You need to just be like, you know
Hell
what?
yeah.
I'm staying put. I'm never changing. I'm taking donor money, and that's it, dude. I'm selling out. I'm staying put.
I couldn't do it. See, this is how you know I'll never sell out like
You'll
that, because
never run for office, bro.
I just can't. I can't sit still. I got to do 20 things at once just to keep my mind occupied,
Yeah,
right? But
it's like
yeah, I mean,
you're the kind of people that we need in like leadership positions in the country that can sit there and like multitask things, is absolutely not married to the game, is just has some principles. And it's like you're like, you ever watched Gladiator?
with Russell Crowe,
Crowe? Yeah.
hell yeah.
Right in the beginning when the emperor is like, I want you instead of Commodus to lead Rome. And he's like, I can't. I'm not a politician. I don't know. And he's like, that's exactly why we need you. You haven't been corrupted by our politics. And he's like, with all my heart, no. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's the guy we need, man. Where are those guys at, dude? Everybody's like, I'll do it. No, not that guy. Not that guy. We need with all your heart, no, and you have to do it anyway.
Yeah, you're not going to get that anymore.
Yeah, man.
Those guys are done.
Where are those friggin' sweethearts at, dude?
I mean, even me, bro. Like, I'm just trying to get on. I'm trying to get an RV and just go live a nomadic, minimalist homesteading lifestyle.
Dude, that just sounds so nice. I just,
Doesn't it?
the silence, walking out of the house and it being silent, just hear nature. Oh, God, I would love that.
I'm doing pest control now, and today I went to this big ass house, dude, on the beach. I don't even know, $10 million house or something. Freaking, I mean, it was nice, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like, I showed up, I was like, what? Like the landscaping, 2 pools, like private beach. I was like, bro, this is sick, man. But I'm like walking around this property doing my thing, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, on one hand, this would be awesome. Have like goals, right? Like make 20 million so I can buy this house, goals. But more of me was like, this is just too much. It's too much to deal with. It's too much to look at. It's too much to, be stressed over.
Yeah.
There was like 18 different people there working, doing different things at once. You had the cleaners there. I was there. You had the other guys doing, it was just like constantly upkeep and this and that. And I thought about it too. I was like, man, I can't wait to just be in an RV, just on an acre and just doing my thing.
That's how I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. It used to be like a huge piece of farmland that got cut into like 2 or 3 pieces of property. And it was just a nice, not nice, it was a bigger old house on an acre, but it was like 6-foot fence all the way down, and then trees like trunk to trunk all the way down, lining the property, completely secluded, totally private. Didn't hear a peep from anybody. We had like some Oakley dokley neighbor on the side, and he would pop his head over the fence like Wilson and talk to my dad or whatever. And it was just, I never met the people to the other side of us. I don't even know if people ever lived there. It was just like hermits in there. And then just some kind of like, hi, how you doing? Welcome to the neighborhood. And it was just a street home. There was no neighborhood, no nothing, no HOA. We could play in the front yard, play in the backyard all day long. No one ever would bother us or nothing. It was just the best. It's just a regular house out in the middle of nowhere. The gas station, 2 pumps.
Yeah,
and the guy
nobody
that owned it
wants
was
that
also a
anymore.
town mechanic.
That's the problem with society. Nobody wants that. Everybody wants the Ferrari and the $20 million house, right? Like,
Yeah, dude. I had a milkman. That's how far away the grocery store was. In order
pretty
the
sick.
milk would be hot by the time you got home. You had a milkman deliver it with a refrigerated little thing in his truck, dude. We'd come out every like week or whatever, and we had a little freezer, whatever, aluminum something, whatever box in front of the house, and every 10 days or whatever, there'll be 2 gallons of milk in there from the farm. It's freaking sick, dude.
Yeah, that's the life, man.
It is the life, bro. Where are those places at, bro?
We just got to get there, man.
Yeah, man.
We could do it. I could do it. I could go get the down payment on an RV right now. I just got to find the right one. I got to kind of like make sure, you know how it is. You got to.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I'm going to play this little clip for this video. We're going to do a hard shift here.
Hard shift, guys.
Okay.
Enough lifestyle talk.
This is a clip from Randall Carlson. You familiar with Randall Carlson?
Yes,
Okay.
loosely.
There's a clip from Randall Carlson on the Third Eye Drops podcast. Okay. They're talking about lost ancient wisdom and breakaway civilizations. And, Randall Carlson's geologist, and he's also a Freemason, I believe. And he knows a lot about like the esoteric side of things, like, the numbers and the geometry and all that kind of stuff. Right. And he has a good way of like putting it all together to paint like a picture of what the ancients must have known and how that ties into reality and math and physics and all this stuff. Okay. For anybody who doesn't know who Randall Carlson is, but I'm going to play this portion of this clip. It's a couple of minutes long, so I'll probably stop it here and there, just whatever, but just bear with it because he's going to go through some numbers and he's going to go through some geometry and ancient wisdom type stuff. And I just kind of want to hear like what your thoughts are about what he says. So
Fire it up. What's Randy got to say?
I'm going to put it on speakerphone here. So deal with it.
Well, let's talk about time for a second. Okay, you know how many seconds there are in a day?
Man, put me 60 times 24.
2,880.
Well, it's 60 times 60 times 24.
Sorry, 60 times 60 times 24.
I should have warned you ahead of time. Listen, Michael, if you have a calculator, get one next to you. We'll have fun with it when. But I can tell.
I do.
You do?
I have my
Okay.
phone, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then do this.
60 times.
I'm a little hoarse today. Do
Is it
this.
too loud?
No, too
24
quiet.
hours, 60 minutes. How many minutes in a day? Let's start with that one.
Well, I already got the other answer. It's 86,400 seconds.
86,400. Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's something special about that number. Right. Now, if I was going to draw a circle that had a diameter of 86,400 units of anything, what would its radius be? Its radius would be half of that, wouldn't it? 43,200 radius. Yeah. If you're translating it into a circle. Okay. Well, when we now our day is ultimately based on a circle, isn't it? Well, what is that circle? The circle is we establish a point, let's say on the meridian line of the Earth, and we align that meridian line with the dead center of the sun. And then as the Earth rotates through one day night cycle, a diurnal cycle on its axis, that meridian line will come back around, and depending on your instrumentation, you can define that alignment of the local meridian with the center of the sun to a high degree of precision. Somebody in ancient times decided we're going to take that cycle and we're going to divide it into 86,400 sub-units. But who and when? Well, before you get there, you take the circle, and you know that the circle has 360 degrees.
That's where it gets
So
spooky.
if we lay out a circle on the flat ground again, and we mark out 360 degrees, and like let's say we take a clock face, a big clock, and we lay it on the ground. That's essentially almost how you could look at what they were doing.
Yeah, sundial.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the movement of the sun. And okay, so now you've got the pillar, the gnomon pole, or the stick, whatever it is, the obelisk, whatever it might be, that's at the center. It's casting shadows, and those shadows moving throughout the course of the day, you could almost think of as the hands on a clock. But if you take 60 minutes and 24 hours, somebody had to first of all, we're going to divide the day into 24 hours, not 25, not 23, not 14 and a half. We're going to divide it into 24 hours, and each of those. We're going to correlate with a geometric diagram where we divide a degree into 60 parts, right? So we have in our clock we have hours, minutes, seconds, right? And that's the measure of time. Now in geometry, which is a measure of space, we've got degrees, minutes, and seconds, don't we? Right? You have X number minutes of arc, X number minutes of seconds, right? Well, so what you're saying is we've got the initial division, unit of division, and now we're going to divide that into 60 minute parts.
Yep.
Hence the word minute, right?
Yep.
Now we're going to take each of those minute parts and divide them again into 60 smaller parts, secondary parts, right? So we've got hours, minutes, seconds, which are the second level of subdivision. Got it? So now, at some point, somebody said, okay, we're going to put 86,400 of those units in one diurnal cycle. Exactly. Well, interestingly, you go back into the ancient traditions and you find that number repeated over and over and over again. That number, and it's multiple, it's submultiples and its multiples were all part of this pantheon of numbers. Whether it manifested as the king lists in Sumeria, the 10 antediluvian kings, whether it manifested as the great Yuga and Kalpa cycles in the Vedas, right? It was built upon those numbers. The total value of the 10 antediluvian kings was 432,000 years. The total value of the Mahayuga in the Kalpas was 4,320,000 years.
Oh, interesting.
Not in the Kalpa, I'm sorry, in the Mahayuga, which was the encompassing of all the other the Kali Yuga, which was essentially the fundamental unit of the system, was 432,000 years. Then it went to 864,000 years. That was the Dwapara Yuga. Then the Treta Yuga was 3 times the fundamental unit, 1,296,000. And then the Satya Yuga, which was 4 times that, so 1,728,000. And then you had the Maha Yuga, the great Yuga that encompassed all the others, and it was 4,320,000 years. So you can see now the relationship. It's a 10-to-1 relation. The Mahayuga is 10 times the length of the Kali Yuga. Now, when you start looking at the king lists, you start with these huge numbers, but when you add them all together, you find that the durations of the king's reigns were submultiples of the, so in other words, you could multiply those numbers usually by an integral value, and you would get the full duration of the whole span of all the antediluvian kings, which was 432,000 years. So now you look at the Sumerian system, and they're following those numbers up to 432,000, and that's where it stops. Now, the Vedas pick up, and they build the system on top of the 432,000. It looks to me like you've got a continuum of what may have been an original system of measuring time. But here's the point.
Here it is.
We're still using those units today. And who can tell me when was the origin of the hour? When was the origin of the minute?
I don't know.
When was the decision made that we're going to divide the diurnal cycle into 1,440 minutes? And that's how many minutes there are in a day. Then we opened the Bible and we discovered there's 144 cubits in the great circular wall of the holy city. We discovered that there's 144,000 redeemed of the earth that presumably are the survivors of the apocalypse, the epoch of the ellipse, right? And we can find the number in the Baktun cycle in the Mayans, 1,440. And we find it in all kinds of places that are not so readily discernible once we dive into some of the interior realms of some of the ancient traditions. We find this repetition of this system of cosmology.
So basically the point is there's numbers, these numbers are encoded in everything, right? Like 432. That was the original frequency of that we used to record music in, 432 hertz, right? Like an A note, right?
That's the Matt McCusker frequency.
Right. So, and what he's basically saying here is that all of these ancient cultures encoded that number, right? In different multiples or, whatever it is, but 432 or 4,320, right, is basically like a frequency that the ancients knew, and they somehow like figured out how to put that into geometry and into time, or they discovered it as a number that's part of. So it's almost as like when I thought about this, I was like, wait a minute. So either we do live in some kind of a simulation, and that 432, that frequency, is like the base layer of reality or something, or they basically encoded that into everything and it's not a simulation, but it's like such an important number that even like 100,000 years ago, our ancestors who apparently didn't even have the fucking wheel, they understood deep levels of this. And the thing that's crazy, he gets into it later. He talks about like the cutting edge of science right now, right? They're working on plasma sciences, right? They're trying to figure out how to use plasma and electromagnetism to defy gravity and like all these other things, right? So plasma science is like at the forefront of some of these fields right now. And when they're building the containers and the infrastructure to test plasma, they're building them with the same frequencies, 432. They're build all of the geometry of like the objects inside some of these like containers where they're like doing plasma stuff, right? Like the circumference will be like 432 whatever, right, millimeters or inches, you know, like the so going from the time to the macro geometry to the micro geometry to the music frequencies to the the king's list like he's talking about, right? Like the ancient codings that are in all these books, like it all ties together with these same numbers. And I just found that like completely fascinating. And then when he said like the whole thing about the 144,000 people being saved in the apocalypse, right? And then he breaks it down and he's like apocalypse, the epoch of the ellipse, right? And it's like, I don't know, I want to know what your thoughts are on
Yeah,
that.
the epoch of the ellipse kind of threw me off because I mean they're spelled entirely different, so it's like a interesting play on words. But what? Look, so there's another level to this. The second, scientifically, is the now like the atomic second is how many times like the cesium one something. Hold on, what is now I'm curious what the atomic thing. It's cesium something. What is the atomic second? Because it's probably there might be an actual another level to this atomic second. It is cesium 133. Okay, all right. I bet. Okay, I'm not doing it right now, but I bet you we could do it. It's a cesium 133 atom. It oscillates. Very important. Oscillate the wave frequency movement of the cesium 133 atom 9,192,631,770 oscillations of the microwave radiation that corresponds to the hyperfine transition between two specific energy levels of the cesium 133 atom. Also lines up with the second.
So whoever designed the time understood this. They must have.
We didn't figure it out. Okay, I know that there's like a breakaway civilization. Okay, but there is no reason at all for you to be able to figure out that, like, to divide. You know what he's talking about? Like, you have to put the dang parallax or whatever he called it, the center point on the sun at the exact right spot. You got to get your calculation correct. The day-night cycles change.
Yeah.
Like it kind of, it's like we have longer days and longer nights. So like to divide things, it's so arbitrary on when like sunrise is or when the next day starts. And also, you know what I mean?
Right.
You have to do it where you have like a very clear horizon. You got to do it by the ocean. It's like so many things have to go into you getting that correct, doing your math correctly. And then it just so happens to also, I mean, obviously, it would only really make some crazy sense if the atomic second was like some conveniently divisible number. It also went down to like 432 or 144 or 48 or something like that. Like one of those kinds of, like, if it was divisible down into those kinds of things. But I don't know, man. I do believe that the whole universe is wavelength. It's all vibration.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's something. I mean, I don't know what it is, to be honest
Even
with you.
time.
Like, I hear this all the time though, like this type of stuff, right? Like I know that the measurements of the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, you know, and I don't know the math. I'm not that fucking smart, but I've heard people that break this down. They're like, you know, if you measure the base of the pyramid, and then you measure like the the peak or whatever, like it's basically, uh, it adds up to this number, this, you know,
Circumference of the earth.
yeah, the circumference of the earth, right? And the 43,200's like encoded in there, right? I'm looking at this website right now, like, you know, Pythagorean tuning was set to A 432 hertz, right? Um, like he was saying, 24 hours in a day, 12 hours in a half day, 720 minutes in a half day, 4,320 seconds in a half day, right? There's that 4320 number again, right? It's the orbital precession of the equinox. Um, you know, like that can break down into these numbers as well. So Saturn's orbital precession of zodiac and Saturn years is 864. 432 times
Nice.
2 is
Yeah.
864, right? So it's like this weird thing. Like, there's no way that all of this is like coincidental, right? To me, what this says is that going way back, because like remember, we only give like civilization 5,000-6,000 years, right? We say, hey, look, you know, like back in the dynastic Egyptians or the pre-dynastic Egyptians, like whatever it is, you know, 5,000-6,000 years ago, like they're the ones that discovered, you know, a lot of this shit, and like they weren't even using the wheel, and oh, we didn't even start writing stuff down until, you know, whatever, 8,000 years ago, whatever the number is. And it's like, there's no way, dude.
Homies
There's
found
no,
that stuff, bro.
yeah, they not
Or
only
we're
were like,
taught it.
you think about how long you have to stare at the sky, okay? I think the number is like 72 years for that precessional, that wobble of the earth, right? To move 1 degree is like
1 degree.
72 years to move 1 degree. Okay?
Hold on. We have to know what a degree is.
That's another part of it. You have to understand the degrees. You have to understand that there's 360 of
You
them in
have
a
to have a
circle.
unit to even divide that by to begin with.
They have to, like he was saying, like, why did they choose to divide these into these numbers? Like, why is there 24 hours in a day and why not 25? Right? What he's basically saying is like, dude, not only did they have to stare at the sky long enough to see that 1 degree motion every 72 years, but they had to already have come up with a whatever, like a structure, a foundation of what degrees are, that there are 360 of these units in a circle. Why not 361? They could have divided it that way, right? So
Are there even any circles?
I don't know, but like, it's just crazy to me.
Like, are there even any circles in the universe? To even get a reference point for that shape to begin with.
I mean, I'm sure, yeah.
Like, what is orb shaped?
An orange.
Maybe, but like, why would you go, oh, that's the perfect thing to do? We'll do that. There's no marbles. And it's
The
like, what,
sun.
if you got to look at it with a really specific, I mean, yeah, when it's setting, you go, okay, maybe that's the shape, but it's like, why did that even become the shape?
I don't know. That's a whole
You know
other
what I mean?
thing. That's a
It's
whole
like,
other thing
you
too.
have to have like some, like, there's no record of who came up with it, but it's so accurate. You go, well, where's all the other things? How did you nail this immediately?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't immediately. It must have taken hundreds of
What I
thousands
do.
of years, right? Not this bullshit like, oh, we've only been playing with geometry and astrology and astronomy and all these things for, you know, a couple thousand years. No. Like, we must have been figuring this stuff out and coming to these, you know, like creating these equations and divvying things up the way that we do when it comes to time and geometry and the amount of degree. That must have taken hundreds of thousands of years for humans to like systematically put this in a way, because you got to think about this. They were building pyramids on one side of the earth and on the other side of the earth, right? They were doing the same thing. So not only did you have to have a culture come up with this shit, but they had to transfer that knowledge to another culture on the other side of the earth, and everybody had to kind of be on the same system.
Because they're all dated around a similar time, relatively speaking. It's just, dude, the odds, this is where science completely gets unscientific and just ignores odds entirely. Like, oh yeah, the universe just exploded out of a soup. What are the odds on that? Impossible. Oh, okay, but that's what we're going with? Everybody's pyramids kind of are dated similarly and also calculate with hyper accuracy things that the age that they were built in, they shouldn't have been able to do. And they'll go, what are the odds on that? But that's what they'll go with. And it's like, okay, what are the odds that there is some other beings out there that taught them that? Much lower odds. Won't go with that. I mean, come on, get real, dude. Here's the thing. Here's the other factors we have to come up with. Every time they find something that is old, it's accurate. Where's all the inaccurate tools at? We have, like, well, you go back in American history, you go back to medicine, you go back to whatever. Bloodletting, all kinds of wacky parachute inventions that don't work. We have all kinds of stuff. We got Da Vinci's kind of crazy wackadoo stuff that was just like, I don't know what this is. Some guy was tinkering with some stuff. Where's all that, dude? We find abacuses and calculators and computers in ancient Egypt that are accurate. We find tools that are ultra precise without using any machinery. It's not possible.
See, this is where you get into, this is where you're going to run into like your mud flood people, your alternate history people, because, you know, this is why people will say like, hey, the timeline, oh, listen to myself. The timeline is so off and so
off,
right, that there's no way that we are when we're told. Like, there's no way that this is the year 2025 AD. There's no way. If you follow,
it's either the timeline is off or we had help.
Or we had help. But like, you know, like you're saying, right? Like if we figured all this stuff out tens of thousands of years ago, to the point to where like you could go and read like Plato's writings or like any of these like ancient philosophers, or, you know, you can go look at a 8, 10, 12,000 year old megalith, and it got these numbers encoded into it, which means they figured this out way before that. And that's assuming that's when they even built the things, because I'll tell you right now, I don't think that the Giza Plateau was built 5,000, 6,000 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was probably built like the previous cycle 30,000 years ago, or the one before that, right? So you go 60,000, like, you know, so I don't know, man, like, or it's like what the Moore says, where none of these megaliths and shit, like, you know, the Freemasons poured the concrete and built the pyramids 400 years ago. Like, it's got to be one or the other. It's got to either be one huge psyop that the Freemasons really did pour all of these megaliths a few hundred years ago, and they're playing it off like they're 8,000 to 10,000 years old, or humans or something built these things hundreds of thousands of years ago, and we're just giving it to the pre-dynastic Egyptians or the Sumerians, or take your pick of the culture.
Yeah, I don't understand why the dating process is so difficult for some of these things. It's like there's factors. We have to explain these. If you wanted to just say these structures are crazy big structures, no other significance. They're tombs to the mummies, the pharaohs. Okay, I could get behind, they did something crazy. We don't really know how to do it. Lost technology, whatever. But they're not. They're calculating devices.
Yeah.
They were making monolithic calculators with tools they should not have had. So no, sorry. I just don't even care. Like your dating is off, or your dating is a little bit off. It's either super off or it's a little bit off, and you're leaving out help.
Or something super important, like a critical piece of the information.
Critical
right?
piece of the information. Like one of the things the Bible takes a little add to that is that, which we're experiencing now, everybody spoke the same language and nobody died. You lived for a long time, and it says there was help, nobody died, and everybody spoke the same language. So it puts in all three factors of like, all right, we can do this in 1,000 years or whatever. The earth is totally different. There's tons of like extra, spirit dimension, extraterrestrial, whatever, alien, demon help. Everybody speaks the same language. Nobody dies. So it's like we get the three extra factors in there. But you cannot tell me that freaking some guy who thought that he could take gold across the friggin' Thames River or whatever it's called, the river Styx, is also like, we're gonna build this thing. It's like, no,
it's crazy to me, man. And then I forget
who
who
on his eyeballs.
I forget the guy's name, but he's got the whole Giza power plant theory. I don't know. I was trying to rack my brain. I can't remember his name, but he basically has this theory that like the pyramids and like all that were a power plant of some kind. But remember what I was telling you. Remember what I was telling you earlier, that like in the laboratories now, at like the forefront of scientific, or the whatever, they're working on this plasma, electromagnetic plasma, whatever the term is for it, and they're using these same dimensions in order to achieve this, these effects that they're getting from plasma and all this other stuff. So is it possible that our ancestors knew not only how to encode like the dimensions of the earth and all this shit into the pyramids, but it's because you need to hit those frequencies. You need the object that you're using to whatever generate free energy or whatever.
100%, dude. Things operate like tuning forks.
Right. That's basically
Right?
what
If
I'm
you've
getting
got
at.
something like emanating an energy wave off of it, and you have other things that conduct that and also resonate at that. I'm holding up a water bottle. You can't see it. I'm like holding different things, and my hands are invisible. You have other things that move in those frequencies. Dude, imagine being in like the exponent of energy that is in the world. Like things can move easier. Things probably don't weigh that much when they're in motion already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can build the wave. We know this from playing music, bro. You start stacking the same sine wave on top of each other, they get louder, and they start to phase and everything. You get that like, you know what I mean? And the second you mess that frequency up, if you do two notes right next to each other and you get that opposite wave, you get that dissonance. My brother was telling me about hidden or like invisible signals. So they'll take these huge energy beams, these wave emitters, huge, super powerful, high intensity, long frequency, not short frequency, but long frequency waves. And they'll aim them at each other and then cancel them out. So exact opposite wavelengths. There are waves. They are undetectable to like the normal radar. You cannot hear them. You can't see them. They're undetectable, but there is information there. So they can send undetectable messages in these wave frequencies when they're just canceling each other out. Bro, there's levels to this stuff, dude. And these ancient people, if they made something at 432 and they're finding, hey, if I go next to this thing and it starts resonating, I can, or making this bowl, and this bowl is like shaking when I go, and I make this thing that rings, boom, doom. My whole house is humming now. Things can move easier. Things can float or whatever. Like they have those holographic things where they can float a bead. Not the holographic things. You see
the holograms. Yeah, the holograms.
Holograms where they move the little drop or whatever it is around, the little dot.
Yep.
You were also showing the one where they were like putting the drop of water inside the frequency. You can stack droplets of water on air. It's like, imagine if the whole town was friggin' humming and you had a energy, you had like a reactor, like you're saying, that was just feeding that energy, sending out that boom, sending that 432 out, and everything in the whole town's tuned to 432, resonates at it. Come on.
So I'm with all of that. The thing that's just like mind boggling to me is like, how long does it take for our ancestors to discover and start like utilizing this? Like, it can't, there's no way that it wasn't like tens or hundreds of thousands of years.
One or the other, dude.
Because like I was saying, in order to get some of these numbers and start to understand some of this stuff, like we can understand it because we can listen to other people break the numbers down and blah 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 blah. Like we can make sense of this pretty quickly and easily. But if you're just like some hunter, or you're like just a chief, or just some shaman living in some culture somewhere, 20,000, 100,000 years ago, you don't have this. There's no reference point. There's nothing to like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's none of that. So they have to look at the sky for 72 years to see 1 degree of motion. And then they have to pass that information on to the next person, because lifespans aren't even that long.
Because you're dead.
Because you're dead. So then the next person has to watch it for 72 years and be like, oh, wait, he was right about that. We did move a degree. Let me tell the next guy.
Wait another 72 years
Right.
and see if it's the same speed.
Yeah. And you have to go through this cycle X amount of times in order for it to become like tangible, like this is a thing. And then you have to go from that to how do we divide this into a digestible number, right? How do we, what number do we choose to like divide this thing into, right? And you got to pass that information on. Dude, hundreds of million years. I don't know. It's got to be like, how much of human history is just forgotten?
I don't know, man. I lean towards we had help more, just because when you talk about the sheer expanse of time and how many humans there would have been and how many civilizations there would have been, and like there's not even there's only stories, but there's no shared stories, because the information is shared but the stories aren't. They must have had like a common, but the stories are different. So it's like,
yeah, like they came up with the wheel in South America at the same time they come up with the wheel in Africa.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, no, your stories, like who, it's like, what, we just we just happen to come up. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But also like just the time span, like when they talk about like there's millions of years of evolution of things, and like there's gradual, where it's not like they have to like constantly backpedal everything because it doesn't make sense the second they say it, where it's like, oh, it was just really gradual over time. It's like, well, then you must have had billions of transitional species. Where are all the bones? Where's all the half fish, half monkeys at? Where's all the anomalies? How did it evolve the right way the first time? It should have had a stomach that didn't work and it died. It should have been, if it's changing species, then it should be sterile. There should, other things would have had to evolve in the same way. So that way, it's not sterile and they can crossbreed, because you can't cross species breed anything. So it's like so many variables and anomalies would have had to be there. There should be trillions of transitional form bones and transitional humans everywhere. The planet should literally be a bone graveyard. Their bones should be made out of different things so that they don't decay. I mean, we don't find any anomalies. Zero.
Well, I would argue that we do, but the Smithsonian and other institutions,
maybe,
lock
but
them
it's
up.
like, yeah, but it's like that would fit their narrative more, but it doesn't even fit their narrative. So it's like even that argument, it's just like, okay, yeah, that's the only thing that would support that idea. There should be trillions of everything you could think of. Here's a human with bat wings for ears. It's like, it should just be anomalous until it figures it out what the right thing is. The same thing happens with these tools and with these calculations. Where's all the wrong ones? Where's all the pyramids that didn't work? Where's the square? Where's the cube version of it?
Yeah, where's the geometry that they wrote down with like other degrees and
where's the other calculations at? There should be other monoliths. Where's the giant sphere at? Where's an octagon, this and that? Like there should be other things that gone. Nothing. It's the most ancient thing. And dude, if the things under the pyramids are real,
yeah, But that's what I'm saying though, is that like there's no way that the timeline is anywhere near accurate, bro. Right
No.
now, I get what you're saying. Like we must have had some kind of outside help. I don't even think that that's the case. I just think that the span of human history goes back so much farther than we could even possibly imagine, and that all of that history has just been wiped away and hidden and suppressed because the people who are in control, they cannot let us know that some of these things exist in the way that we're talking about right now, because we're talking about this, people are listening to this and like, oh yeah, you're probably right, and then other people can be like, these guys are fucking retarded, it's like, but if you really had this out there and the smartest people in the room were really thinking about this type of stuff and putting the work in for it, we'd have free energy technologies, we'd be able to time travel, like, I don't know, bro, like all the stuff that you would hope for in a sci-fi movie, right? But they can't have that because then they lose complete control over the information and all the other shit. So I just think that we just go back hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years of because they'll tell us right now that anatomically correct humans, like Homo sapiens sapiens, us, exact us's, go back 250,000 years. That's the number that mainstream gives it. Okay. I think that that's a lie. I think that we go back millions of years, probably.
If there's no help, you have to. You'd have to. I mean, dude, just think about the sheer number of humans that would have to exist in order for the species to survive. You couldn't have 10,000 humans with all the diseases and all of the just random things that you could die from, all the, prehistoric animals and all. I mean, there's just no way. The population would have had to been so. And it's like, while they're doing this, bro, imagine this. While they're doing this, they don't understand why it rains.
Yeah, they're just like,
the same people that came up with this, they're saying it, the same people that were like, literally like, oh, it didn't rain.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, man.
Get real, bro. They don't understand how the rain works. They can calculate the circumference. They can get 360 degrees and then translate that to arc minutes to the precession of the sun in the sky with that kind of accuracy that we still use. We haven't come up with a more accurate one today. Get out of town.
Yeah, doesn't make any damn sense. And here's why I have a problem with help from outside, is because this is something else that I realized the other day too, listening to another podcast. There's like 8 million species on Earth right now. There's 1 out of 8 million that's us. No other species on Earth is even remotely close.
Nope.
Right? You have maybe 10 species or something of like, hominids that can walk upright, right? Like different types of monkeys and gorillas and stuff, right? Like can walk on their hind legs, but none of them are like remotely close to what we are. So we're 1 out of 8 million species on this planet.
Yeah.
Right. And if you count
for the Bible, bro.
And if you count all the other species that have existed, right, we're like 1 out, I don't know, 50 million species. So then you take that odd, 0.0001, okay, that's the odds.
Yeah.
And then you extrapolate that across the universe, right, to all these different planets. Most of the ones that we think are habitable are like water planets, and like, most of the other planets aren't even in habitable zones, right? So now you add like orders of magnitude to that number, to those zeros after the decimal, to come up with another being that's even remotely like us, let alone be able to get here. No, bro. I think we have just been here for so damn long and building crazy shit for so damn long. And at some point, the draconian whatevers, the reptilians showed up and they were like, what the hell is this? And they just started manipulating all of the information fields and the energy frequencies, and they just totally shift. Bro, we don't even use 432 anymore. We use 440 now, right? Like that's the standard, because it's the standard now. Because you can't. You gotta shift everything.
Why we change it? You know what I mean? This is where your Yaldabaoth thing comes right in, bro.
This is what I'm talking about. they're adjusting the frequencies of reality and have been probably for a few thousand years, right? The last 10,000 years has just been a slow, inch by inch, adjust the frequencies, adjust the information in reality. Because everything in reality is just information fields, right? Like
Yeah.
light is just information fields, sound is just information fields, right? There's just waves of energy that hold information that our eyes and our ears can just decode and make sense of, right? Like this isn't a table, right? This is vibrating molecules at a certain frequency, but my brain doesn't get that. My brain is just like has to make sense of this now. So it's like the table.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying here?
Even
So-
dude, even you communicating that to me is just your vocal cords vibrating at a wavelength.
Yep.
And then the microphone is taking that electrical and translating that into an electrical pulse, which is then going through my headphones and then vibrating that at a frequency, and my eardrums are picking that up and then understanding what you're saying through just signal impulses in my brain. Dude, it's all waves, brother.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
I
If
just
you
think
would
that
have
they-
told me this before COVID, I'd be like, dude, you are out of your mind. And then all of a sudden I'm like, bro, it's all waves, bro. It's all
Isn't that funny?
waves.
We go from like the simple conspiracies, like, oh, by the way, like weather modification's real, like prove it. Okay. Oh shit, they're real. To like everything is just an information field. And I think that they've been
And
manipulating the
is just a
information.
wave.
We live in a simulation. And that doesn't mean the matrix. It just means we live in an altered version of information fields. We're not getting base reality right now. We're getting the altered version of reality. We're getting the simulated version of reality. If we could somehow do away with all of that, go back to everything's 432, everything's, perfect geometry, sacred geometry, and perfect alignments and geomancy and all, if we can get all that back in tune like we did 100,000 years ago, we probably would live 1,000 years or more, and we probably would understand how to harness plasma free energy technology using pyramidal structures that are the size of fucking buildings, but we're just not there.
Yeah, my theory on that is we're getting a lot of comments in, and I'm not viewing any of them. Sorry guys, we're ignoring you, bro. We're on fire right now, dude. We're absolutely on fire right now. I'm not listening to anything anybody's saying. You should listen to Shane Gillis's research on the phenomenon. He's calling it proto-intelligence.
He
It's
said
been manifesting. I don't think he's got a theory on that, guys.
Nathaniel Gillis research on the phenomenon. He's calling it a proto-intelligence that has been manifesting as whatever it believes the person will trust or fear, or whatever it needs to appear as to manufacture, manipulate us for consent. Yes, dude, it's so hard to like put this in a package that's like understandable. And, like,
Dude, El
communicatable.
Shinobi's been watching my Bible videos. Get out of here, dude. Don't blow up my spot, bro. That's for the secret boys. Call me
There you
freaking
go.
Uncle Charlie. Get out of here, dude.
But like this type of stuff is just like, it's so hard to package in a consumable, transmutable way, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't, like you said, if I would have hit you with this episode 1, you'd have been like, huh? Right? But like this is stuff that takes like a long time just to wrap your mind around the concept even a little bit, right? And I don't even claim to like get it. I'm just like, I get just like a glimpse of like what's going on here.
Yeah, we got to
Trying to
just
just like,
But I think with and you understand this. You probably think the same way. I think that having a musical background helps with this, because one of the ways that when I learned that like 432 is like the hertz, whatever C or A at 432, that's been the standard for a long time. This is back when music changed it rocked you to your core. This is when people were like, and then we find out like the cymatics or whatever, they go into like these Irish and Scottish cathedrals, and the carvings are cymatics. Like, how in the world did you even, right? But this is all 432. And then we changed to 440. I'm like, why would we ever do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what changed? But here's where talking to you for this long, again, this many years, has kind of helped me. At least I don't know. It's a way to make sense out of it to me. I think that going back to like the Yaldabaoth and the deceiver kind of deal, like the whatever to the. I think that we've been like we have detuned. We're out of tune with how everything is. And it's like when you tune a guitar and it's like off, you tune it to another guitar that's off. And but it's like as long as you're both in tune to each other, you're fine. So everything is not in B flat. It's like a little bit off, but at least it's all together. And I think that's kind of what mankind is doing right now. It's like we're not tuned to the actual true wavelength, the real note, the actual thing that does something. We're all at 440, but at least we're all at 440. And it's like our actual bodies are out of tune right now. So I don't think that it's like any sort of wonder that you've got some of these billionaire dudes that are kind of like getting into the woo-woo stuff and getting into the health and the cryotherapy and detoxing and the infrared saunas and all this kind of stuff, and like doing IV, like they're doing all this stuff to try to like recalibrate their system. And now you're getting, some real scientific breakthroughs, and now you're getting the remote viewing, and now you're getting people doing like psychedelics and actually having like coherent experiences and stuff. And because the system's getting back into tune.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go back to 432 at some point.
So 440, I'm just going to read this to you. 440 is a higher pitch, right? Obviously, and can create a more stimulating and energetic sound. What is something else that we consume that stimulates? Blue light. So I think they've
stimulate is a disrupt.
Disrupt, right? Stimulant. It's the same. It's the same thing, right? So like, I think that they, again, whatever they are, humans, draconians, reptilian, I don't know, but like they figured out that there's a few things that they can tweak, few frequencies that they could tweak. They could tweak the audible, right? And that will disrupt everything in your body, right? Your cellular makeup is vibrating at 440 because every time you listen to music, you're listening to us right now on Twitch or YouTube, right? Like you're catching it through 440. You're not getting it on 432, right? So it's like disturbing to you on a molecular basis, right? Like you're just getting jacked. And then the blue light, you're watching it wherever you're watching it, you're getting nuked through your eyeballs at the same time. It's just all a disruption thing, right? So that's the why. The why is because, once you move us off that harmonic frequency, 432 is like the universal frequency. That's the frequency of the natural universe, right? Remember, I always talk about like the Buddhists say that the Om is the sound of the creation of the universe, right? And that Om, right, was probably an A note tuned to 432 hertz. Right now, it's probably at some crazy octave in order to create the universe. I don't know, right? I'm not that smart, but it's not 440. And just going back, like everything is tuned to 432 when you go back in like the ancient world, like all the megaliths and the pyramids and the geomancy and the ley lines and the the alchemy and the sacred geometry, like you're talking about the cymatics, right? The colors that are used, right, are all tuned to certain frequencies. And then, here we are in the modern age and everybody's all jacked, zero attention spans, like we were talking about at the start of this show, right? We're all subconsciously drained and all this and that. Well, yeah, we're out of tune. We're catching the blue light. We're catching the simulated reality. And that simulated reality is just jacking us up.
Yeah, man, it makes me want to start writing music at 432 again.
I've tried this. The problem is none of these fucking DAWs, none of these digital audio workstations allow you to truly get to 432 hertz.
Well, yeah, like my amp will not let me tune to 432.
Right.
So I have to tune through Logic to get to 432. And then I don't even know if the pitch correction, because I mean I can sing a little bit, but it's not that great. I need a little help. I don't know if that will tune. I don't know if
The
the whole
instruments
project will work out.
themselves, the instruments themselves are built, you know, to you know, be at this 440 because this is the standard now,
Yeah.
right? So when they manufacture like a guitar, for instance, right?
Who voted for that?
Nobody voted for it. That's the point.
Who voted for that? Like, if they're like, hey, listen, 432, that's like the universal thing. The whole universe vibrates at this 432 or some, you know, divisible of it. We want to jack it up to 440 just to make things kind of sound a little crazier. It's like everybody would be like, oh, just leave it at 432, man. What's the problem?
Yep. So even if you got the DAW to record your song in 432, you'd have to get your amp or your amp sim to be able to truly, right, transmit at 432. But then you have to go further back. Your instrument has to be built to work in this 432. Otherwise, you're going to be tuning the A440 and off a couple cents to try to maximize and get that 432. But you're never going to quite get. It's always going to be a little bit off, right? People who aren't musicians are going to be like, what are these guys talking about? But you get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
I mean, I want to try it. I want to see, get as close as I can. And I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna make music at 432. Maybe it helps me write a little bit.
It goes even the speakers and the headphones that we use, they're not optimized to work at 432 because 440 is the standard. So you can go buy like $1,000 pair of, you know, studio quality headphones, but those headphones aren't going to work. They'll work, but they're not going to be like optimized for that 432. It's like they took everything that our ancestors worked hundreds of thousands of years to figure out and dial into, and they were like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Hey, listen, good business model out there, fellas. If anybody y'all is rich or can, you know, get an angel investor in this, 432 based products there. I mean, there's already a guy out there doing flutes at 432. But let's get some 432 tuners out there. Let's get a 432 MIDI keyboard that comes native 432. Let's get some 432 drum set tuners. Let's get some 432 speakers, 432 headphones, 432. Let's get it. I mean, I don't know the headphone side. I don't know why it would make a difference, but I'm sure
you can't even hear the difference realistically.
You know what? I think there was a Switchfoot album at 432, and there's a lot of British albums at 432s. They kept the 432 thing for a lot longer.
You can
I
find
remember
it.
listening to. I'm like, I would try to play their songs. I'm like, what chord are they playing?
You can find it
in H minor. Like, what is this?
The problem is, like, if you go on Spotify and you stream that song that was recorded in 432 50 years ago, right? Like, Spotify is adjusting the hertz through its own platform to 440. You know, it's like, you know, in order to like truly hear and feel what 432 feels like
why not 420?
Why not 420? Yeah, bro, 710 all day. You know, you have to like go buy that guy's handmade flutes and sit in your room and like that's the only way you're gonna. Or the bowls, you know, like those bowls that they hit the bowls, dude. Right? Like not that, you know, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Don't they do like they like do the ring around the bowl?
Yeah, it's just funny because also like when you're
you're smoking
it's the same.
Yeah, I'm about to hit this 432 right now.
Yeah, bro. Listen, somebody, you're right, dude. Somebody needs to make this company. Just call it 432. Yeah. That's the name of the company, 432.
Yeah, I like it. I got a 432. Like, yeah, 432 speakers, 432 headphones, 432 everything.
And then 432. Sponsor the show. We'll promote the hell out of it. Just send me a pair of headphones.
Heck yeah, dude. I'll invest.
There you go.
I'll give you 1/16,000th of a Bitcoin. But you know what's interesting? I bet you 432 divides out into things.
What do you mean?
I bet you like, so it's divisible by 3 down to what? 16?
Wait, what is the question?
432. I bet you it's like divisible. Like I bet you it's got like some interesting divisions out of it. Like it can, Like I bet you that number divides down. It's obviously an even number. So if you divide by 2, you're going to get down to probably some significant number. I don't know why I did it by 3 to start, but
Well, 3 is 144, which is what we were talking about earlier with, right, how many people are saved in the apocalypse, right? So there's a lot of, this is what Randall Carlson was basically talking
whoa,
about.
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it is. What?
Yeah, yeah. So this is what he was talking about. Like, you know, you can look through
Which
and
is 12
find
12s.
you can find 432 divided by any number or multiplied by any number, and you'll find connections to that in everything, in geometry, in time, in mythologies, and everything. Like 432 is the number.
It's interesting because the 144,000 is 12,000 from each tribe in whatever, the 12 tribes of Judah. But then is that 44 threes? No.
I don't know. My brain.
I don't know.
My
And
brain's
yeah,
not.
what I'm saying. See, I'm telling you, there's levels to this stuff, and the fact that these people, I don't know, man. Just going back to like just the odds of everybody figuring this out at the same time, 4,000 years ago, whatever, is just get out of town, brother. Get out of and figuring it out first try. Get out of town, dude.
72.
What does it go down to? 72?
Remember I was saying that every 72 years, 1 degree on the precessional
Yeah.
cycle? Well, yeah, if you start breaking 432 down, 432 under the long division bar and 12 under it, look at the first, it breaks this whole thing down. I'm looking at the internet right now. It's like, you know, you do all this math, the whole equation. Basically, the answer that you're looking for is 72, 1 degree on the precessional thing.
Yeah.
72 years. This is what I'm talking, dude.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. Yeah, there you go. This is what I'm saying, bro. Look, call it a simulation, creation, whatever you want to call it. There's no way that this accidentally makes sense. That's just that's hogwash. Okay, this universe was 100% created by the simulator, by God, whatever you want to call him. And the fact that the Bible says it was spoken, it was created with a wavelength. And that wavelength can be found in everything. I'm telling you, bro. Any other explanation for how the universe works, you take a hike.
We figured it out. We cracked the code. All right,
I'm telling you, bro, it's all waves.
Yeah, no, everything is. Yeah.
It's all waves. It's Donald Trump and the Epstein list, bro. Everything's probably hackable too, is if we know how to use waves. Guarantee it. You could probably walk through a wall if you understood how waves work.
People have done it.
I watch Chris Angel do it all the time, dude. Back in like 2007, bro, he was walking through walls.
You remember that movie? Was it The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
And there was the general or whoever it was that was like trying to figure out how to walk through the wall.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah. I mean, this is a real
gotta watch
thing.
it again.
This is like an actual thing. I forget.
It is a
I
real
forget
thing.
Who it was in history and the story. I have to look it up. But yeah, that's the thing. Like there was a whole. It was part of this, you know, the psychic warfare shit that they were doing back in like the 50s and 60s or whatever. Yeah, one of these generals or whoever, some high level dude was like, I can walk through that wall. And he was like trying to like meditate. And he was trying to like, you know, and he was trying to. I don't know if he ever did it or not. I'd have to look into it. But yeah, it's not even a joke. Like you were joking and you were like, you could probably walk through a wall, but like it's not a joke.
No, it makes you should be able to like vibrate through a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If my brain waves are waves and you have receivers in your head, we should be able to just talk.
Yep.
It's like this whole, it's going to be on the internet. It's going to be whatever, the Neuralink, whatever. Bro, the Neuralink is just going to be an antenna that allows you to tap into. That's all it is. People don't understand this. They think you're hooking up to the internet. No, dude. There are waves in the air that you don't have an antenna to pick up. and he's going to give you an antenna, and that's how you're going to be able to read minds, because you're already emitting the wave. I just don't have an antenna to pick it up. Bro. You got a milsim to get to?
Yeah, in about 30
Boys wait.
minutes.
Boys are
Yeah.
waiting.
In about 30 minutes, I'm gonna go drink some more water. And
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. What rank are you?
Sergeant.
Ooh, sergeant.
Sergeant. Who was it that asked me last time? Somebody hit me in the chat. They were like, "You playing Arma?" Yeah, I'm playing Arma.
Yeah, dude, he's playing Arma, and he's playing for the Nazis.
No, I'm not playing for the Nazis. Playing for the Vikings. All right.
Oh, the Vikings.
Yeah, let's
Heck
go.
yeah, dude. Purple people eaters.
Let's go, dude.
This guy's Brett Favre out there, dude.
Yeah, I got that to do tonight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real.
You guys attacked anybody?
What?
Do you just do like run drills, or have you you fight?
Yeah, we do trainings. We'll have a night where we all get together and we like go through like a structured training. Like, okay, here's how you patrol on a certain formation, and like the spacing you should be in, and who's watching what sector. And like we take contact from this side. Like, what's the call out? How do you on the radio? What's the degrees, the azimuth, the distance? You
got a rifle yet, dude?
Huh?
You got a rifle?
I sold my AR back in the day. I got myself a nice little Smith & Wesson.
Smith & Wesson what?
It's just the shield. Just the shield.
Bro, no. Okay, we gotta get you a rifle, bro. We're gonna start a militia.
No, we're not. We're not.
No, we're not starting a militia. We're not starting a militia. I know it's our second amendment, right? We're not starting a militia. I was just kidding. I'm just saying you have tactical knowledge now. This is like when dudes train on like Gran Turismo and then go into the friggin' NASCAR or whatever.
Yeah, when these nerds are playing Call of Duty and they're like, "He's coming on me. I got 8 guys on me." Like they're just
I'm pushing.
they're just like having like autistic spurts trying to make call outs. Like, no, we don't do that. We're like, right? We got like RTO, like who's the radio guy? Like your job is to transmit my call outs up to command so that they can transmit it to the bird and they can transmit it to the other squad, and then it relays back to me. Like it's a whole, like I feel like Mel Gibson and We Were Soldiers. That's how I feel when I'm playing that.
Nice.
That scene where everybody's fighting around and he goes up to the radio guy and he's like, "Get over here with that radio." And the bullets are flying by and he's just standing there like a hard ass. And he's like, you get them to get that damn bird. That's how I feel when I'm playing that game.
That's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's good stuff. This is like real world. You could this is where like video games don't rot your brain.
Sure,
it's like
yeah.
Minecraft and COD they're not helping you at anything. Unless you want to know how to make friggin' Elytra and stuff, or you want to craft a nether portal. But like milsims, racing games, that kind of stuff, you can kind of really understand how things work. And especially when you're working with a good group of guys that know what they're doing. I'm sure you got like a couple of SEALs in there. You probably got a couple of feds in there. It's looking at
Probably.
game
Yeah, we got more than
feds.
half of the members are like veterans or active duty. Yeah. So like there's some real knowledge coming through. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's fun. We have fun with it. It's sick.
Yeah. Well, you got to let me know if you guys ever suss out some CIA guys in your thing, just kind of scoping out. If you ever get DMs on the side, feds. Whoever asked you what game you're playing in the chat last week, we got to go back.
Fed.
I'll be fed.
I think it was Shinobi.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Watch out. Anyways, listen. I gotta get off here. I need a few minutes to chill out before I get onto that. So adios, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.